Hi there. Hey kids. How are you? You can go ahead and unmute. Let me make sure I get something in here. OBS. Oops. Looks like I'm always waving. I have to keep my arm up. 1 minute. Start streaming. Where's my...
What happened to your arm?
It's kind of a silly story, but you know how moms can be kind of clumsy sometimes. And, or maybe that's just me. But I took a break from painting. I was painting my kitchen cupboards outside. I took them all off. Whoops, where's my, hold on. Where's everybody? There we go. I took them off and had them outside. I was painting them. I took a little break, and there's Kian. And I went over to move some of my stepping stones that are on my wood chips. And I rolled my ankle, which I broke last January. I broke my foot, a foot bone. Well, I rolled that same ankle because it's really stretchy now. And I fell on the sidewalk and broke my hand, my wrist. So it looks really bad. It's really bruised. Looks like I got beat up, but it's okay. I'm feeling better. Hi, guys. Hey, everybody. Hey, the gang's all here. All right, let me make sure this is recording correctly, okay? And I'm going to make sure. Hi. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Lily. All right, 1 second. This one. Oh, good. Everyone,
give me a minute. No.
Yay, everybody's here. I think we're just missing a few that they will catch the recording later. Okay, that's recording. That's good. I want to make sure that, yeah, bear with me. One-handed, it's hard to do what I normally do with two. Where is my, this one? Here we are. Make sure I am always in front on your video. Because sometimes with Zoom, if other people are talking in class, the camera goes to them, and we want to keep it on me so everybody can see me. Oh, another one, good deal. Okay, turn my video on. Display, not late when I speak. Okay. All right, I think that is all I need. And
No.
Where is my, one more thing I need to find here. I feel like it's been a while since I've been on here. It's my OBS. Are you guys excited to paint today finally? It seems like it takes forever for our paint day, doesn't it? Yes, a long time waiting a whole month. I get it. I prefer painting, but it's always good to start with the basics with drawing, isn't it? It's good to start with the fundamentals and build up so everybody's on the same page and we all start with the same building blocks.
Mom, can you use this too?
Does everybody have their canvas out? Their canvas?
Yes.
And I've got the same little cups of paint you have. And you have a cup of rinse water, right? And you have your paper towel out. Everybody should have a piece of paper towel. And your brush.
Yep, my brush.
Yep, perfect.
Yep, everything's
What's the check?
All right.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Hey, Mom, I'm not gonna start yet. I'm not starting yet. I already gotta do the painting right now.
We are. We're going to paint that cat. And this is,
What are you gonna do first?
yep, this is my version of Van Gogh's Starry Night. So I took Starry Night, which you might have seen before, with the swirly stars and the moon in the background, and then the mountain.
Did you write the lines?
I did it for you. So
How did you do them? Those are so many I can't even do.
Yeah,
Can't even do them.
we'll be real careful in not covering those lines with other colors, okay?
Why can't I cover the line?
Well, you can go over it, but I don't want you to lose those lines. So we're going to do each little part separate, okay? All righty. So if you've got all your supplies out, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My mom is right there.
Oh, good.
In case if I need help.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to mute everybody so everyone can hear me. If you have a question, you can unmute and then mute yourself back, okay? And we will get started. Do you have enough light on here? Can you see this okay? Maybe it's just my eyes. So we are going to start. Let's talk about the picture a little bit here first. And we will, we were going to start with the background. Whoops, where'd I go? We'll start with the background of the sky. You see the sky is blue. It's kind of a little bit darker blue. And we're going to go around the swirly parts. Okay, do you see the swirly lines that I gave you? We're going to go around those. We'll add a little blue in later, but I want you to keep these swirly lines so we don't lose those with the blue paint and cover it up, okay? And we're going to cover the background without the swirly lines. We're going to go around some of these stars. We've got, how many stars do you see? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars and a moon. We're going to go around, paint around those stars so we don't lose those lines, okay? And then we will put a little bit of blue in this area. Do you see below the swirls on the picture in front of you? Do you see the white covered mountains? I'm not sure if they're mountains or if it's fog or clouds. I'll call them white mountains for today, okay? We're going to put a little bit of blue in there. Do you see where there's some white and some blue? We'll put a little blue in there. Then we will put some blue and then black on these mountains and some blue and black with some, the black lines are actually rows and rows of trees in Van Gogh's original picture. So we will paint that blue with some black lines to show kind of some rows of trees. They don't have to look exactly like trees because this is just our impression of his work. We will paint the kitty cat black and the orange pumpkin. And we will finish with the moon and the stars with the yellow and the orange and some white. And we'll kind of cover up some of the white canvas that we'll leave for the white mountains here. And add a little bit of that moon reflecting. You might see a little bit of orange and yellow that I put on that white mountain there. It's that moon reflecting on that mountain. So we're going to put a little bit of orange and yellow in that, and we'll carry that all over to this little part over here. Do you see how this white mountain goes behind the cat and the pumpkin? All the way across. We call that a horizon line. Okay, it's kind of where the sky meets the earth, the ground. And we're going to carry that horizon line, which is the mountains, all the way over. We will go around the cat for that though. So let's get started. So get your paintbrushes out and let's start with your blue, okay? That pretty blue, it's a cobalt blue. Do not need any water. You just go ahead and get right in. Yes, Dexter.
When can you do Bob Ross's paintings?
We could if you really want to. I've done one of his.
We want to.
You want to? Oh, then I will have to put that in one of our classes. I have one planned for next month, another kitty cat actually. It'll be kind of fun, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? All righty, so let's dive in with your blue. So I told you, some of you, about my arm. Last week I fell. I rolled my ankle. I didn't really sprain my ankle, but I rolled it and fell hard on the sidewalk and broke my wrist bone. And so I'm really bruised and it does hurt. I'm probably gonna be tired when I'm done with class, but I'm okay. And I did not want to miss our class today. So I told all the parents I was planning to paint today. I wanted to make sure my right hand was okay because I hurt my right hand too, but my right hand is much better. So we are painting. So I'm going around our stars like so, okay? Just leave that area of the stars, leave it alone. Leave it white from the canvas, okay? Just go around, go all the way down to the head of the cat here. You can paint real carefully. Now it doesn't have to be perfect around these stars, okay? When we're all done in the next hour or so, we're gonna add a little bit more blue sky around some of these stars because we want to have some of the blue come through. But for right now, we're just going to fill in the background. So if you have any questions, just keep watching me and the parts that I'm painting, okay? I'm so glad I was feeling better. I did not want to miss our class today because painting is my favorite class. I do like drawing. I really enjoy drawing, and but I love painting, and this is the first I've painted in 2 weeks, I think. So it's been long overdue. So see, I'm just going around. I'm kind of making a round swirl around the stars. It almost looks like an eye, doesn't it? Like eyes looking through the sky. So just leave those white, okay? We're gonna add some orange and yellow and a little white in a little while. We just want to get that sky filled in. If you have any trouble, ask your parent and they can help direct you on what should be covered and what should.
My stars got blue. Just one.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. If you do cover up some of your stars, then we'll just go back and we'll recount and make sure you have, how many did we have? We had 7 stars. So at the end, if you covered up any, you can go add in some more right on top of the blue. You can always change your painting. And if you want more stars, you can do that too. I forget the original painting. I want to say it had like, I don't know, 13 or 17 stars, but it was a bigger painting. This is smaller. I didn't want to go too big for you because more paint a bigger picture means longer painting time, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. So So let's kind of go around those stars. I'm going to go up. Do you see the outside dash line outside of the crescent moon? I'm going to just go up to that spot and stop. Like I said, it does not have to be perfect. We just want to go up to those dash lines so we can add in some yellow and white in a little while. So has everybody had a good week?
No,
No? Oh dear.
not that much.
Not that much. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you had a better week than me. Everybody still has all their arms and legs to use. So I'm going around. So we didn't, our first class, we talked more about Van Gogh. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about Van Gogh. Has anybody, what was I gonna say? Do you remember when I talked about some books you could get from the library about the different painters? Maybe I will put that in email so everybody has it. I think I just maybe showed a list and talked about it. But I'd like to find a small list of books for you to check out if you're real into books. I know I am, and my kids are. And when we were doing certain projects and homeschooling, I try to find as many books as I could on that subject, and we could look things up. So that's what I'm trying to do with you guys, and giving a list of books that you can look up as well. Some of them have to do with the artist. Some are just kind of fun stories, kind of based on the artist that we're working on. So do you see how I went around that swirl here? Around like that. Now I'm going to go underneath the swirl. Okay, and we're just working on the rest of the sky. Go around that cat's tail. Like that. It kind of comes down to a point. So when we're all done, I'm going to grab out my list of books, and maybe I'll just send it in the email. I always send your parents the link for the recording for this class if anybody misses it, and I will put the list of books that I picked for Van Gogh last time. I'll put that in the email. So if anybody is inspired and wants to look for these books, then you can. It looks like I'm going to have a lot of blue paint left over. Whoops. So if your parents let you, and it's okay, find a time where you can paint and you can use the rest of these paints up, okay? I give you fresh paint for every project. So once we've used it, you are free to have that and do what you want with it. So, and you can even make something fun and you can show me. So we're just gonna go follow this mountain, okay? Everybody getting the background, the sky filled in okay? Good. All right, now I'm gonna go to the other side here and below the swirl on the left. And I'm not sure if that's like just the swirl of the night sky or if that's maybe even the Milky Way in the background there. But it's kind of cool. So we're going to create the sky on the left side of the painting here. And again, these lines do not have to be perfect up against the swirl or around the cat or around the stars. Let's just get that sky filled in. We're going to put lots of, do you see all those dots? Excuse me, there's lots of, I guess, I don't know, those white dots are probably more stars in the sky. And any brush strokes that you don't like in your background is going to get covered up by all those anyways, okay? So don't worry about your brush strokes. We don't need any of it perfect. We just want to fill in that sky. Now, when we talked about Van Gogh, Vincent van Gogh, last time we painted, does anybody remember what we talked about? He was a young painter.
I do.
You do? What do
I
you?
still have the painting.
You do? Good. Do you
I'm
remember
sorry.
something special about Vincent van Gogh?
No, but I remember when I did this painting.
Yes. I remember when you did too. That was beautiful. So he unfortunately died very young. He was only 37 when he died. And
Few more other paintings that are my favorite.
I'm sorry, what's that, Lily?
I still have other paintings that are good.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I think he had kind of a sad life, and he ended up hurting himself bad enough to die, which is very sad. And that means we all missed out on so much more of his artwork, huh? I bet he had so much, such a creative brain that we all missed out losing him so young. All right, so does everybody pretty much have the sky filled in? If you've got your sky filled in, then let's go.
No,
No?
not all of us.
Okay.
No.
I'll keep working on it. You have plenty of time. And you also have the picture. You have that same picture on your screen, right? You have that in your kit, so you can finish up later if you need more time later. And just look at the picture, okay? We're going to get most of it done, though. Let's go down to, okay, so my sky went up to these white mountains, right? And I'm going to leave the top of the mountain, that white mountain, white, like the canvas. I'm going to put a little blue in because some of the blue sky is reflecting on that mountain, okay? So we're going to just paint on the bottom part of this white mountain, the mountain that has the white edge. We're not going to go all the way up. We're just going to leave the top area. I'm going to even paint a line. We're going to leave that above here, white. And I'm going to fill in with blue here. When the blue is dry, we'll add a little bit of white so it's not quite so dark blue, and brighten it up with a little white and make it all look like a mountain or a cloud, whatever you want to choose. Who thinks it's a mountain? What do you guys think? Do you think it's a mountain or a cloud?
We can't hear you. I think it's a cloud.
You think it's a cloud?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of our, like when we get fog coming over the hills from the coast. It kind of reminds me of that, doesn't it? It kind of looks like fog is rolling in. So it could be fog, it could be clouds, could be a mountain. We don't know. He's not here for us to ask, so we can make it what we want it. So I'm just going to call it a mountain or a hill right now. And see how I just left the top little bit of that mountain?
Our internet isn't working.
Oh no. If you ever have trouble with your internet, try and get out of Zoom and come right back in, okay?
She can't hear us.
I can hear you.
In the chat line.
Yep,
I see you.
yep, I hear you.
Yeah, it's not apparent.
Oh, the wall is blue. No, Mari.
Your connection's not good.
That nice.
Okay, let me.
Not working.
I think you froze. All right, yeah, sometimes internet, we have internet problems and not much we can do about that, huh? We just have to log out of the class and get back in and try again. I know my kids that are in school all have to do all their classes on Zoom as well. And they sometimes have trouble. Yep, I see everybody. Okay, good. I think they'll be back in. All right, so I did the bottom part of the white hill. I painted that blue. It kind of looks like this guy, but we're going to add some white in a little while. So let's go down, and while we still have the blue, we're going to put some blue in the mountain down here, okay? The mountain that has the black on the top. We'll add black later. Let's get some blue on this one, okay? So I'm going to go right along that pumpkin. Can you paint right next to the pumpkin? And I'm going to bring that down. And I'm going to go right along those. This is like a valley. So this is kind of similar to what we have. We live in the valley, right? In the Central Valley. And these trees down here, this is part of the valley right up next to the hills, like we have hills. So it's kind of interesting that it looks very similar to our landscape. So I'm going to go around. I'm going to fill in with blue the bottom half of this hill. I hope that's not too confusing, but if you just keep following me, it'll work out. I like to try and keep with the same colors and use that color over the whole painting and then move on to another color. So there's the bottom part of that hill. All right, we're going to add a little more blue. Let's see, a little blue over here. So you've got the white hill here. We're going to add a little blue. I'm not sure if I gave everybody a line here, but I'm going to create this hill here. So let's just fill this in with some blue, but leave the top like we did here, leaving this white area. We're going to leave this little white area as well. So that's going to come right up next to your pumpkin, like so. Sergio and Dario, did you get back in? There you are. Can you guys hear me now? Is it better? Sergio and Dario? I hope you can hear me better now. All right, we are just filling in some of this hill, the white hill on the left side of the cat. So this is this area, and it comes behind the cat, and it goes to the left, okay? And we'll put some blue, but we're gonna put more black in on top of this blue on the side. So I'm gonna leave a little line, a white area here, okay? You don't have to, I'm just gonna leave this little white line for myself to see where this mountain is going to start. So I'm just painting blue around the pumpkin, okay? Go all the way around the pumpkin. We will add some grass and vines, pumpkin vines and leaves before we're done. It's a pretty good sized pumpkin actually, huh? Does anybody else have their pumpkins yet? We have a few. Not sure if we're gonna carve them or paint them. Does anybody paint their pumpkins?
We have our.
You do? Oh, good. Yep, I've got a couple kids that want to paint pumpkins this year. Here.
We never tried painting our pumpkin.
No, you should try. You could even use your extra paint from this. That's a good idea, huh?
Well, earlier Another day, my grandma and grandpa are gonna come. They're gonna bring us a pumpkin. So I think we should paint that one.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a good idea. All right, so this side.
And if anybody's doing the Halloween party Saturday night, we're going to be painting pumpkins. So you can save your paint and
That's
grab a
right.
small pumpkin, and we're going to be doing that.
I think we got it. Okay, good. Yeah, I forgot. You guys are having a Halloween party. All right, I'm gonna bring blue over here. So I'm gonna just go right next to the lines. I don't know if you'll be able to see the lines, the pencil lines I gave you, if you cover it up with the paint. So I'm just gonna go up to this line, okay? Let me cover the bottom because we want the sky and the ground pretty much all blue. It's like that bright night sky is reflecting on the ground, on the trees, on part of the mountains, and we're going to give a little contrast with the black and make some these rows of trees. So I'm going to kind of think of this as like a river. See how the lines are kind of wavy? I'm going to go along this river, creating these rows of trees. And this is just giving a blue background to our trees, our orchard of trees. It's probably an orchard. I'm not sure what kind, but I do know they are rows and rows of trees. And I'm just going to bring that down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, okay? And we're going to kind of divide up these little rows into trees with our black, with those little lines that you see in the picture. And it will look more like rows of trees than just a blue ocean. It looks kind of like an ocean now, doesn't it? So I'm leaving some of those lines, my pencil lines, I'm just kind of leaving that little bit of a space so I can see it when I go back over it with black. The trees must look more black in the night sky. So that's why he created those rows of trees with black. So I'll do the same thing with this. And we're just kind of creating some rows. And if you're following it all the way down with the shape of those rows that I gave you with the pencil lines, if you follow that with your brush strokes will kind of create a row like that. All right, one more small one. This one is a smaller little section, a little row of trees. But do you see how I left a little bit of white lines? Only so I can see where to put my black lines for the rows of trees, okay? Don't worry about it if you didn't. You can make your own rows when we go over that with the black. Okay, let me see here. Now that some of this is dry, I'm going to, and we still have our blue out, I think we're going to go ahead and go over the swirls, this big swirl in the background. We're going to put a little bit of blue. So watch how much blue I put in. I want to be able to see through the white and the yellow and orange in there to see through behind it to the sky. So I'm putting some long dashed lines like that. Can you do some long dashed lines like that? And then I'm going to continue some long dashed lines. We just want to bring some of that blue of the sky through this swirl. So we'll bring some blue dashed lines. It kind of goes into a curve right here at the end. Kind of go around that cat's tail. Anybody have a black cat that looks kind of like this cat? You could even name it your own cat. And so,
Yeah, her name's Heartbreaker.
aww. Heartbreaker. Does Heartbreaker break a lot of hearts? So I'm just going to keep doing some long blue dashed lines following this big swirl. Okay, everybody with me?
Stop trying to keep. Why? Because I don't know. What the heck?
And I'm just gonna go into a little bit of a curl at the end. Make that curl as best you can. All right, see, so we filled in a little bit of blue so it's not all white. Let's see, where else can we add a little more? I'm gonna add a little more blue on the outside of the moon area. So we've got, the moon is actually orange. It's a crescent shape, right? I think we talked about that last time. So the crescent is going to be orange, and then the reflection from the sun on the moon is going to be yellow. But then we have some white on the outside. So I want to bring some of the night sky through that white on the outside. So bring some of those same dashed lines on the outside area of our moon, okay? Of the reflection, the shiny part here. So I'm just kind of bringing it like this. Can everybody do that? We don't want quite so much of that white canvas coming through on the edge of our moon area.
I wondered why the moon is orange.
I don't know. That's a good question. I wish we could ask him why he chose orange. Well, orange is kind of bright like the sun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not as bright as yellow, but it's pretty bright. I think what he was thinking maybe was it's nice and bright, almost like a sun in the night sky, perhaps. And he wanted it bright, but he wanted more than just yellow. So he added orange. And I think the orange kind of complements and it pulls in our pumpkin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It matches our pumpkin. So I think that will be neat. All right, so see how I just added, I kind of filled in a little bit real lightly the outside edge of the moon area, the reflection, the shiny area. All right, so now we've got a little direction. We've got some movement going with this swirl. I think we can rinse our blue. So let's rinse our blue. We will, I think we'll save our black for last because our black on the cat can clean up all our lines. If we went over onto the cat with our blue, that's okay because we can cover it up with the black. And I'm just going to rinse the blue off my brush here carefully. And you don't really want the blue to mix in with your yellow or your white or your orange because it will make a new color. Let's try to keep our colors straight. Keep them, all our solid colors that I have here. Now we have talked about primary colors a little bit, I think last time. And can you guys tell me, is blue primary?
Yes, it's primary.
Very good.
I wondered how people make it.
That's a good question. I often wonder the same. They do get the colors for paint. They are pigments. I mean, you can get some pigments from the ground because minerals, I don't know if you've studied minerals and rocks in the ground, but they have so many different colors that some pigments are actually from the ground. Some blues can be found in the ground. Probably not anywhere where we live.
Like in the ocean?
True, true. I don't think we're going to get the color blue directly from the ocean because it's water. But what you're seeing with the ocean is the reflection from the sky. Did you know that? That's pretty cool. So the sky is reflecting on the water, causing it to look very blue or green. So blue, I'm sorry?
The other day that you were talking about primary colors and how you mix two colors to
Look
get
at
a
me,
secondary color.
green.
Yes, a minute. He was asking, okay, so how do you come up with the primary colors? I think that's what he's trying to ask.
Yes, that's the very, very good question. So in art, we start with what we talked about. The primary colors are blue, red, and yellow, right? Now those colors do come, they are made, but I think many can be found in minerals. They're actually found in minerals. So we consider blue primary and yellow primary. We're not using red today, but what do we have that has a little red in it mixed with yellow?
Orange.
Orange, very good. So if you mix a little red and a little yellow, you make orange. And those are two primary colors that create a secondary color. So the primary colors we have today are blue and yellow. So I'm putting my blue aside because I'm done with my blue for now, unless you need to touch up later, just hang on to. And you can put the top on so you don't knock it over. I will probably knock it over if I don't cover it up. And I need to get a drink of water because I'm getting dry.
I think we have enough time for show and tell. If we get all of this fast, I think we'll have enough time.
I think we might. I think that's a good idea. Good idea. All right, so let's get this done so we can do some show and tell. I think we will let's do yellow.
Yellow.
Mostly the yellow is the reflection, right? The reflection on the moon. Where do we get the reflection from the moon? From the sun. Yep, you got your yellow. So the moon is reflecting yellow from the sun. And in this painting, it's the orange. It's also reflecting some orange. So I'm going to go around my orange moon because we're not doing orange yet. I'm not going to totally cover up the blue that I added. So we added a little bit of blue on the edges, but I am going to go around the moon with my yellow. Make a little bit of a point because Van Gogh created the moon, not as a full moon, but as a crescent moon. I don't know if it's on its way. I don't know for sure if it's on its way to a full moon or on its way to a new moon where you can't see it. But it is definitely a crescent moon. If you want to leave some of the white on the canvas where the blue is, you can do that. I'm adding just a little bit. Yes, dear?
One time in the night, I saw a crescent moon.
Did you?
Yeah.
I love looking at the moon and the stars at night. Does anybody else like that?
Gentle, baby, gentle.
Just a little bit of yellow.
Are you?
Yeah.
So just a little bit of yellow kind of between some of your blue lines, okay? We just want to get a shiny yellow in there, okay? And go around the moon, and it's a nice bright yellow. You can even put on the outside where it's still blue, you can put some dashed lines of yellow out here. So it just looks like it's shining really bright. It's really reflecting that sun. So bring a few yellow. And then we'll put a few strokes of white in it in a little bit here. All right, so there's some yellow. We're going to add some yellow to our stars. So let's do some more dash lines on our stars. We are going to fill it with orange in a little bit, okay? So get a little yellow here. Whoops. Oop, I got paint on my arm. Oh my gosh, I can do it. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I'm a messy painter. Okay, so I'm kind of filling in a lot of our star, the swirly stars. But I'm leaving a little bit of white because we want a little bit of white in there still. Because stars twinkle with kind of a white light. And add a little bit of a swirl yellow on this side. And on this one. And this one. Just a little bit of yellow. Doesn't have to be real bright yellow. And one here. And then we're going to, in the big swirl back here where we add a little bit of blue, we're going to add some yellow. So let's do some dash lines of yellow.
Is this the blue we can paint with?
The blue, this one, Marina?
No, the
Blue or what?
like a yellowish colorish.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I mean, on your brush? What you have on your brush?
Well, they can't see my
Yeah, we can see his brush.
Yeah, but they can't see my paint.
Oh, yes. Yep, I see it. Yep, you got it. Yep, so I'm using the same one. I'm using the same yellow. And all right, now some dash lines through our swirly Milky Way. Should we call it the Milky Way? Kind of looks like the Milky Way because the Milky Way is a kind of a long cloud of stars across this night sky, right? And so I like to call it the Milky Way. So I'm putting a little yellow here. I'm going to bring a little yellow in the swirl all the way around. And this is our second primary color. What is the third primary color? We just talked about it. Does it look like this? Red, right? Red, yellow, and blue are our primary colors. And those are important colors to remember. With those three colors, you can mix all colors. You don't need any other color. If you wanted to paint things, if you have just those three colors, that's all you need. You can make all colors, all paint with those three colors alone. You don't need to buy orange, you don't need to buy green, you don't even need to buy black. Although I do like to use white. All right, so I brought in some yellow all the way through our swirl here. Does everybody have the swirl with a little bit of yellow and a little bit of blue in it? Now I'm going to bring a little bit of yellow. Remember this line, this white line we left here? I'm going to put a little yellow in downward strokes. Can you do short strokes like that? Downward strokes. And that is going to create the top of that fog, cloud, hill, whatever you want to call that. So I'm just kind of bringing some yellow over that. We will add a little bit of white in a little bit. Okay. And whoops, go back here. Let's see. I'm going to, now down in the rows of the trees, we're going to mix a little color. In a little while, before we're done with the black, we're going to mix a little of our green and our yellow to make kind of a bright lime green. So we'll do that in a little bit, but not yet. So I've got a little yellow along here.
Miss Julie?
Yes, dear.
My mom asked, how do you make black and white?
White is, I believe it's another, you can get it from zinc. Zinc is a mineral. You'll probably learn that later in schooling. But zinc is a mineral, and that is where we get white. Now, black, if you've ever painted before and you've used lots of different colors, what does your water look like when you've used lots of different colors? Black. It gets really dark, doesn't it? Yep. So it doesn't take a lot to create a black or a very, very dark color. But I do like having an actual black. When we're doing projects like this, I like black. But when I do other paintings, I never use black. I use maybe a dark brown or some different mixtures of different colors to make a dark, dark color. Okay.
Now we're going on the pumpkin.
So I think we will, let's see. Let's do the pumpkin. Well, we're going to start with the orange though. We'll finish with the pumpkin because I want to work from top to bottom. So if we do the pumpkin at the bottom, you're likely to put your arm all over it. You can have orange all over your arm, kind of like I did with the blue. So let's rinse the yellow and open the top of your orange, your pumpkin orange. And how are we doing on time here? We might go over a little bit, but I think that we won't go too late. If you do have to leave any class early, know that I usually try to get the recording up right away. Of course, this last time I hurt myself and it didn't get up really, really quick. But I do try to get it up, and as soon as it is up and you can get into the class, you can go watch the recording to finish. So let's go ahead with our orange, and I'm going to start with our moon. Now your yellow might be still a little bit wet. I notice mine is still wet. Try not to mix it too much, but if it mixes with the yellow, it's okay. We don't care. So I'm going to start with that little point and make our crescent shape. Now crescent shape is just one of the shapes the moon is seen, isn't it? We can see a full moon, which is a whole circle, isn't it? And a crescent. There's lots of stages of the crescent we can see with the moon. And the one Van Gogh has here, I would say it's kind of a half. It's not a true crescent, really, not for a moon, because it's really pointy. His was pretty pointy up here. So crescent shape is a great shape to refer to the moon with. So I've got the crescent shape here. Now I'm going to add a little bit of orange dash lines because we want that orange from the moon to reflect outside where it's really bright and shiny. And I'm just adding a few like that, okay? And then we're going to add it to some swirly dashes to our stars. Remember, we have 5, 6, 7 stars. So we'll add a little bit of orange swirl to each of those stars. Try not to put your arm in your paint though. So a little swirl like that. Does that make sense? And then a few for this star. So we really want just a little orange and yellow and even a little white coming through for our stars. And that one, and one more down here, like that. We are going to add a little bit of the reflecting moon onto the top of this cloud hill structure here, just a little bit. I might even have put a little too much. I'm going to add some white though. That's why we have white, so we can lighten up some of this. So I'm just bringing a little orange on top, kind of right mixed with the yellow. Yeah, that's kind of bright. I will probably lighten that up with some more white in a little bit. And our pumpkin. So go ahead and paint your pumpkin all the way around. try to go around the vines, but if you can't go around the vines and the leaves, you can create your own. You actually can probably see through it okay. I'm thinking, yeah, I can see through my orange okay. So if you
My
want to,
water is like the Loch Ness water.
pardon me?
My water is like the Loch Ness water.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's kind of green, isn't it?
Like
Yeah.
this.
That's a very good observation. All right, so I'm going right up to the edge of the pumpkin. I want to get a nice clean line along that pumpkin. So do your best along the edge of your pumpkin. And I'm trying to leave my vines and my leaves. I'll probably have to go over it a little bit again. Like that. How's everybody's pumpkin going? Okay. Is everybody having fun? Do you like painting the Van Gogh Starry Night? I love the colors. This is probably my favorite color of blue. I love this blue. I think that's why I'm always drawn to this painting. I've painted it one other time. I did a paint class on this last year with some grown-ups, and that was a lot of fun. So go right up to all the little points on the leaves, and you can make those leaves and the vine however you like. It doesn't have to be the lines that I gave you here. You can make your leaves any way you like. I just wanted to bring some green. I thought green on top of the orange looked really nice. So this is my own design. Obviously, Van Gogh's Starry Night did not have a cat and a pumpkin in it. It actually had a cypress tree that is almost the shape of the cat, but it's long and pointy. We actually have a lot of cypress trees here in Los Banos, but the cypress tree was a very dark tree, and it's kind of wide, and it goes up to a point. So I took that out and replaced it with a pumpkin and a cat, and I thought that would be a lot of fun for fall. For this time of year. I'm going to go right up against, I'm trying hard to leave the little points from the leaves. If you can't and you just want to make it more of a rounded leaf, you can. Might be hard to create points with your brushes too. All right, the pumpkin's going to take a lot of orange. So go ahead and get that covered up, filled in nicely. Like that. When I send out the email for the recording for this class, the next email you have, I will add a picture of the Henry Matisse painting we're going to do next. I came across that. It's very different from Van Gogh and Monet, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. There's lots of red, our other primary color we haven't used a whole lot of yet. And we'll be using a lot of red, a lot of primary colors actually, red, blue, yellow, I think there's green. So that will be fun. That will be a fun one next time. We'll have of course, our first class will be drawing, and we'll practice drawing the painting and drawing some of the objects in the painting so we're ready to paint them the next time. So that'll be a couple weeks, and I'll let your parents know when the kits are ready. Usually I try to have the kits ready on Wednesdays to Fridays, the week of class. All right, so there is my pumpkin. Everybody have the pumpkin covered in pretty well? Let's see, looking at the painting, I don't know that I need any more orange. Oh, we need to add orange to our swirl. You know what? I almost forgot. So with a little bit of orange, where you put the yellow and the blue dash lines and the swirl up here, we're adding a little orange as well, because it's a lot of this is a reflection from the moon. And we're just gonna swirl that around. Just a little bit of orange. We don't want it super bright, but we do want the same colors from the moon that are reflecting to reflect over onto the swirl, like this. And these are just short brush strokes, like that. All right, so they're kind of just filling up some of the canvas, the white canvas. You can even add a little more blue if you like. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to rinse my orange off, and I'm done with the orange. And let's go to a little white. So we need to add a little more white to our night sky, as well as that the white mountain or the cloud, and then a bunch of dots, little dash line. They kind of look like dots, but they're actually dashed lines for the back of the sky, okay? Keep getting some messages. All right. So with your white, I'm going to put just a few dash lines in the yellow part of the reflection of the moon, okay? You put just a few there, like that. And we'll put a few in the stars. Just a couple swirl. Let me hold it up. In the stars, I'm just putting a couple white brush strokes, okay? I'll put this up close too. So like here's a one here and here. Just a little bit of white. A little white here. And this one. And this star here. Now for the swirl in the background, we're going to add a little bit of white dashes, more white dashes all through your swirl. Whoops, almost went to my orange. Jeez, better move that, put my top on. It's always, if you're not using a paint, put the top on. If you're anything like me, you're liable to knock it over. All right, so some dash lines in our swirl. Short strokes, short brush strokes. He uses a lot of short brush strokes. That I've learned looking at his paintings. And all the way along, short brush strokes of white, just to kind of brighten up that swirl, okay? Now we're going to brighten up now be careful of your pumpkin. My pumpkin is still really wet and I don't want to put my arm in it. So I'm going to put some white short brush strokes going downward on the back of this, I guess fog. Should we call it fog? This cloud. Let's put some white short brush strokes on top of your yellow and orange. And it's going to go on. See how I make this? You can see the brush strokes. I'm going to go start from the top of our cloud and come down and make kind of a light brush stroke that you can see like that. See that? Almost looks like hair maybe. And just keep pulling those brush strokes downward from the top. So if you see in the picture, it almost looks like, it kind of looks like hair, doesn't it? I think that's just that's how he It was his impression of the cloud. So I'm bringing those. I'm going to bring some more white brush strokes downward like this over top of the blue now. Okay, so we have a layer of the top short brush strokes over the orange and yellow, and it brings over, goes right over the blue. And we're lightening up this whole cloud area. We're going to lighten this up. So you still want to see the blue come through in the back, but we want to lighten it up because it's more of a cloud than a hill. This other hill is definitely a hill. So I'm lightly bringing short brush strokes of the white over top of the blue. And I think I like the way that looks. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Remember we have this little spot here? So short brush strokes to cover up a little bit of that orange. We don't want the orange quite so bright. Short brush strokes over the blue so it looks like the cloud. Okay. And then let's see here. I think I'm happy with that. I might put a few more white strokes up here in the yellow. I want mine to brighten up a little bit. Oh, my silly phone, I forgot to put it on silent, sorry. So a few more white brush strokes up here on the moon. And let's jump to green. Alrighty. If you need a little more time to lighten that up, you can. You can do that afterwards. I want to try and stay close to our time frame and not go too much over 1 hour. Because I know some families have other things to do today. Oh, are you showing me? Oh, good. Oh, good, guys. All right, so get your green. Time for the green. And we're only doing green on the vines, the leaves, the grass, and a little bit here in the trees, okay? All right, so I'm going to make a swirl. Can you make a swirl with your paintbrush? Swirl around. Swirls are not very easy. I even have to work at making a good swirl. Make your best swirl that you can, okay? And it's gonna come around. You guys actually have a nice paintbrush to make some points. Very nice, bud. Oh, wow. Wow, you got your green. You're quick. Good job. Very good. I'm just gonna cover in my leaf here. And if you're already done with your green and you're really speedy and you want to start with the black, you can start on the black cat.
Look,
the black
I'm already done with my green.
Yes, you are. Boy, you guys are fast. Ooh, good.
Now I get to start with the black, right?
Yep, go ahead with the black. Now I'm going to finish my green quick. Start with the black kitty cat. And you can name that kitty whatever you like. And get my swirl here. And then I'm going to put some grass at the bottom. Let me finish my vine. I'll get some grass.
Are we putting the grass on later?
We're going to do that right after we get my vine and my leaves done. All right, there's my vine and my leaves, and I'm just going to put some grass like that. I'm using really thick paint, so you'll have to let it dry, but I like texture. I like thick paint on different things. And I'm just doing short brush strokes for the grass. You can have some longer pieces, some shorter pieces. And it kind of goes around. It covers up the bottom edge of the pumpkin. And some pieces are going to go out like that, kind of. And now I'm going to bring the green all the way down to the bottom of the picture of the canvas, like that, okay? And I am going to, I think let's mix a little bit of, does everybody have their lid to their green? Get your lid to your green, and we're going to do a little bit of mixing, a little mixing fun. So I've got my green. Get a little bit of green. I'm going to put it in my cap. Do you see at the top of the picture there? And then if you can pour, maybe have a parent help you pour a little bit of yellow onto that green. I don't really want to put my paintbrush in it because then what will happen? We'll get green in our yellow, right? So I'm pouring just a drop of yellow to mix with my greens. Mixing colors is a lot of fun, and we'll do more of that as this year goes on. So I created a bright green. Is everybody getting a bright green there? Yeah, kind of a lime green, isn't it? And I'm going to put, do you see in the picture on the screen, there's some lime green that's kind of reflecting probably from the moon. And it's in one of the rows of trees. So I'm going to just bring my brush down along like that, okay? Do you see that in the painting? So just a little bit of that lime green, and I'm gonna follow one of those lines all the way down. It just looks cool. I think it's nice and bright, and it kind of stands out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of lime green into our grass. Some swipes of lime green. It gives it a little bit of, kind of shows texture. It shows depth and dimension in our grass when you have darks and lights of the same color, like that. Okay? So add a little bit of that lime green to your grass. If you want to add a little bit to your leaf and your vine, you can add a little up there too. All right, so I'm going to rinse my green now, and we're going to finish up with black. And I know some of you have already started in with your black. I need to catch up because you're ahead of me. And cover up my other paint so I don't knock them over and make a mess. Because I do that. And now I've got my black. Okay, so I'm going to start with Mr. Cat and start with the point of his ears and just fill in the whole white canvas of our cat. And then we'll create some lines down with the trees in just a moment, and we'll be done. We will also make a little, I'll show you in a moment here. I want to make some grooves in our pumpkin because most pumpkins have grooves, don't they? They're not perfectly round like a ball. They were grown with the way pumpkins grow a little bit different than a round apple. Most apples are pretty smooth, but pumpkins have grooves. And it's kind of fun creating grooves on a pumpkin. I did lots of pumpkin paintings last year, so many that I never even got to do this one with a class. So you guys are the first ones to do this one with me. So I'm covering up my cat here, and sorry, I need a drink. Fill him all in. Don't forget his little curly tail over here in front of our swirl. And I'm gonna go right along the bottom of our kitty cat here, where he's sitting on the pumpkin. Be careful it doesn't mix with your green and your orange. Your orange is probably dry now. Like that. And then you'll need to let these dry, okay? The black will take a little bit to dry because it's the last color we used. And make a really, really curly tail because then it'll probably look like a mouse. And we wanted a cat, not a mouse, unless you want a mouse. You can make it a mouse if you like. And follow this curly tail along here.
I would never get a mouse because I have a cat and he will eat the mouse.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Yeah, they're probably not too good pets to have together.
He's lazy sometimes.
Yeah, my dogs are too sometimes. All right, I'm going to make this mountain right here. It's going to be all black so you can go over the line. I like to kind of make an outline first, like that. Go around the edge of the mountain and then fill it all in with a black because it's nighttime and the shadows are on this side of this hill, so it's going to be very dark. And I'm just filling that in like that all the way. And then right here. So let's see. I'm going to go over here. On our left side here, I'm going to create the rest of this black hill that came kind of behind the pumpkin. I'm going to fill this in a little bit so our eye can follow this horizon line all the way across the painting. Not very dark. All right, like that. And then I'm going to make our orchard, our tree orchard. So the lines of our trees, I'm following this line. This shows the edge of the trees next to the hill, like that. And then I'm going to bring down these lines. So the rows of trees, he used just these lines with some short lines in between. So let's get the long lines in here, the long rows first. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and then the green row, like that. Everybody getting the orchard okay? To where you like it at least? So like that, and then I'm going to have one more on the outside of the green. We're kind of outlining the green. All right. And now we're going to do some little lines going the other direction. So we did long lines this way. Now we're going to do short lines this way. Okay, so watch me and do short lines like that. Can you do that? And then I'm doing short lines across each of these little rows of trees. I keep having to get some more. This black paint is not real dark, so I have to do a couple. I'm covering up my little lines a little bit with another coat of black because it doesn't cover really well. Like that. So do you have some little lines now? And then I'm going to, let's see, next to the green, the stripe of green, that row of green, I'm putting some lines as well. Like so. But I don't feel like I need a line along the green because Van Gogh didn't have one. All right, just like that. And I think, let's just put some grooves in our pumpkin, and I think we can call this one done. So I'm wiping some of the black paint off. I'll show you. I'm gonna wipe some of this because I don't want a lot of black for grooves of my pumpkin. I'm just wiping some of it off. Still have a little bit of black on there. And I'm making some grooves. So I have 4 grooves in my pumpkin. I have 1 groove here. I stop at the green, unless you want to go right through it, it's okay. Like that, there's 1 groove. And this one starts around the leaf, and it's real light. See, I'm just using a little bit of paint on my brush, real light. Create a groove there. And I think I have just enough to do 2 more grooves. And then I've got a groove right here on the right side of this vine, this twisty vine, like that, and 1 more. So it's nice and even. We have 2 grooves on each side of the pumpkin here, like that. Did everybody get a little bit of a groove on their pumpkin? Yeah? All right. And then I don't know if you guys like signing your picture on the front or the back, but don't forget to have someone help you with your name on the front or the back of your painting so you always remember who painted this, okay? Does everybody want to show me? Put it in the camera. Yeah. Zoe, that's beautiful. Oh, Dexter, awesome. Lily, oh my gosh. Oh, you guys. Oh, wonderful. You guys did such a good job. Oh, you make me so happy and proud. Wonderful. Yay. Did everybody have fun today?
Yes.
Good. Me too. Awesome. Yay. Well, good deal. Well, I'm glad I was well enough
It was really fun.
It was awesome. Oh, I'm so happy you're happy. Well, good deal. Well, let these dry. Make sure you put your tops on your paints, okay? Make sure you rinse your brushes.
Not yet.
Always wash your brushes with soap and water, okay? Soap and water after class so they last us all year. Your brushes should last you years and years, actually, if you take good care of them, okay? All righty. Well, like I said, I will send out an email with a picture of our next painting because I don't have it handy, and because I'm one-handed, I won't have a lot of time to get it. It will take me too long. So I will get a picture of our next painting out, and in 2 weeks, I'll have it ready. I'll have kits ready for everyone to pick up. All righty. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm glad it worked out. Well, thank you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good to see you.
Thank
No.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome.